All right, Jeff Zimmerman here with super lightweight contender Kenneth the Boss Man Simms Jr. Got a big fight coming up November 16th in Saudi Arabia, of all places. How you doing,
Yeah.
Kenneth?
How you doing? I'm good.
It's been a
So
little while, not too
yeah,
long.
it hasn't been too long. I think we talked. Was it August, July, something?
Probably.
Yeah,
How are things going, man?
that was great. Camp's going great. You know, I fought in August, so it's not really like I had to, I guess, start all the way over. So they kind of just feels like they just rolled into it. I rolled from like fight to camp, and now it's time to fight again. So, which is
Yeah,
what I'm happy about because it was a struggle for a little bit. When we fighting, I hadn't fought in 16 months before the last fight, so now I'm right back, and that's what I wanted.
yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I would imagine it's much easier to just roll from one fight right into another camp as opposed to a year and a half layoff.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even though I trained during those couple, like I've had a couple of year plus layoffs, like maybe three of them, and of course I trained during those times, but it's not the same. Because I don't want to train like I'm in camp all year round and then overdo it and my body's messed up, blah blah blah. So with this, I like that. Like when I like the first day I got back to camp, I was still in shape from the previous camp.
Right.
Like running wise, sparring wise, I was still in shape. Like of course not tip top shape because I took some time off, but I was still able to just like pick it right back up where I left off.
I would imagine the weight too, which is probably the hardest thing
Mhm.
to deal with as a fighter, getting down that weight. I would imagine that makes it a lot easier.
Oh yeah, it's come the weight. It's fine. Well, I mean, my weight's always fine though. I don't really have too many issues at 140. I'm really comfortable there, especially with like just working with my team, my perfect athletes. They make sure I'm good. So as far as like the weight, even with the long layoffs, my weight's always like on point. It's never really hard for me to get down there.
Okay, so you're one of the few that probably don't balloon up 30 pounds above your fighting.
Uh, no, I mean I gained some in between, but as far as like it just comes off because I don't really eat a lot of BS as it is. Like I'll have my little moments where I want like some fried chicken or like something fried shrimp.
Right, right.
But really, most of my weight, like when I'm out of camp, I just drink a lot of like juice, so like
Mm.
juice and stuff. So it's not really like. And then as soon as I click that off, and I'm just going on water and stuff, it just start falling off. So.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good then. That's good. Let me ask you, this is your second fight with Golden Boy.
Mhm.
I think we must have talked before your first fight. How are things going? Have you had a chance to pick the brain of Oscar or B Hop yet, or had any conversations?
Yeah, I've had conversations with both of them actually. Talked to Bernard probably a little bit more. Uh, they both after my last fight. I think everybody at Go to Boy, they was like I know they watched me like videos and stuff before I signed. But after the fight, they was like, "Oh, you're better than we expected." Like you didn't you. I think what it was though was that how I fought. Like I showed over the last couple of years, I've showed that I could be an aggressive fighter if I need to, and I don't think that's what they was expecting it from me. I think I'm a versatile fighter, so I could do a little bit of everything, and I think the people have seen that, but just not to a certain extent. Like they haven't seen how much of a big switch up I could make. Like I could come forward if I need be, and then if I need to move around and bounce around the ring to win, I can do that too.
Do you think that's what led to a fight with a guy like Oscar Duarte, who you're going to be fighting, who's heavy-handed, is because they kind of saw what you can do in that first fight together?
Possibly. and maybe the Akhmedov fight too. They possibly just was like, because I've been seeing on YouTube and stuff. Like I keep up with when people talk about me, I look my name up, whatever. I don't know. Everybody keeps saying like it's gonna be a stand there and bank it out brawl. Like I'm just some kind of I don't know.
Slugger.
Yeah, like I'm a slugger, but I don't know. I guess people like I will say of my last few fights I haven't really been having to like utilize my of course I use my boxing ability, but like my I don't know, like movement and stuff like that. I haven't done that. So I guess maybe people forgot that that's naturally what I am. So
Yeah,
they
well
expect
that
me to go
yeah.
in there and just brawl it out, which I don't think makes sense.
Yeah, I think that Akhmedov fight kind of kind
Yeah,
of makes it.
skewed people's vision of me a little bit.
I mean, it was a war, right? I mean, we
Yeah.
talked about that fight, that kind of throwback fight from the 80s, and
Hmm.
maybe that, you know, added to your new
Yeah, everybody thinks I'm just a brawler now. It's crazy.
yeah, you don't want to mess with that pretty face, I'm sure. But well, good though. So things are good with Golden Boy, everything you settling in, I guess.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with the decision I made. They kept their word with everything that they said we were gonna do, everything they promised me when before we would sign and we were working on it. So I'm happy. So far, so good.
Great, great, great to hear. Great to hear. Now, talking about Duarte, fought Ryan Garcia. He was kind of a comeback fight for Ryan when he took some time off with some mental health stuff a few years ago, and a lot of people were like, "Wow, that's a pretty dangerous fight for Ryan his first fight back," and took him a little while. That's when he kind of did
Yeah,
the
the back,
Mayweather's
the back row.
special, yeah, which added some entertainment to it. But what are your thoughts on that fight? He is heavy-handed, been in there with some guys, Jojo Diaz and so forth.
He's a good fighter. Respect to him. He's obviously one of the top guys right now. He made a good account of himself against Ryan, and Ryan's a superstar. So, like, I look at it going into this fight, I got to do whatever I need to do to win. I know he's gonna come hard. He's gonna fight hard. He's determined, just like I am. This is just the biggest fight, as big of a fight for him as it is for me. So I'm going out there expecting the best from him. But I just think his best isn't as good as my best, and I'm coming with the best version of me that you've seen yet. So
You're right there, like, whether you could beat anybody on any given fight, right? But you're right there, like a contender trying to get to the big names, right? You said Ryan Garcia, superstar, no doubt, one of the biggest names in the sport. You got the tanks of the world. You're in that loaded area, right? That 140, 135, 140. Do you feel any added pressure, Kenneth? I mean, now you're with Golden Boy, your second fight, kind of getting rolling here. Do you feel added pressure or just
nah,
business as usual?
I don't really, I don't really feel honestly. I don't feel no pressure if I'm being honest, uh, because I look at it two ways. I don't feel pressure from myself, like putting pressure on myself, because I think this is where I'm supposed to be. I think I'm supposed to be at the top, so I don't really view it as a surprise. I don't view it as, oh, you got to go out there and prove to these people that they're wrong about you. So I don't put pressure on myself in that aspect. And also, I don't put pressure on myself in the aspect of letting people put pressure on me just because a few years ago I wasn't supposed to be like in this situation because I had the two early losses. So I like I said earlier, I keep up with everything that people say about me. So I've seen so much stuff about me that people you want like I think of it as not you personally, but I say like you guys didn't think I was gonna be supposed to be here anyway. So why would I let you put pressure on me and make me feel some type of way when you didn't expect me to get this far anyway?
Right, right. That makes sense. You know, you mentioned the two early losses. I probably don't need to tell you that B Hop lost his first pro fight, and
Mm-hmm.
the rest is history. So,
Yeah, I know.
I mean, so that it's not really how you start. It's kind of how you finish and how you go.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just I always said perseverance is a skill. Everybody can't do that. Everybody can't work through difficulties. Everybody can't. Some people quit when stuff gets hard. So growing up, I always my dad and my mom and my they both instilled in me like never quit, never give up. Don't say I can't do something. So I carry that every day with me. Just like I never say I can't do something.
you know, it's interesting. I was watching, and you may have seen the same thing, but Muhammad Ali's grandson, uh, Nico, I
Oh,
believe,
Nico. Yeah, that's
was
my guy. That's my boy.
is that your guy? Okay,
Yeah.
talking to Canelo,
Uh-huh.
and Canelo gave him that advice, like, don't give up, don't quit. Like, you could be more
Yeah, I didn't
skilled.
even see it. I didn't
You
even see
didn't
that.
see it?
Uh-uh.
You
Like
need to
I
go.
saw it, but I didn't really watch it.
Yeah. It was a short clip, but basically Canelo giving him that advice like, hey, you may be tired, you may be this, but that type of attitude is going to take you further than just having talent, right? It'll take you further in the game than that. So now obviously mixed with talent like yourself is a recipe for great success. But yeah, go check it out. It was a great little clip.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I seen it was a reel on Instagram. I just haven't really
Yeah.
like sat down and looked at
That
it.
was like a week or so ago. Um, But let's talk about the division. I mean, I know you want that title fight. It sounds like you're, you know, when the time is right.
Mhm.
2025 though, in your mind, is that when you're hoping to get the big shot?
I hope so. So this is my second title eliminator fight. So I'm guessing if I win two title eliminators, somehow I should be able to fight for a title. Like that would only make sense to me. Winning, like I won the title eliminator last year. Now this year I got to win another title eliminator. It's 2023 title eliminator, 2024 title eliminator. Hopefully 2025 title fight.
Anybody you're hoping to get in the ring with? Anyone on your hit list? I mean, you got
Just
Venue.
the top, just the top of the top guys at
Yeah,
140, all of them. I mean, it's pretty clear, like the top guys, Tiafimo. We don't know what weight Devin's coming back at, but Devin, any other guys with the title, Rayo from Venezuela, just any of those guys that's at the top. No, Ryan, he's not. I don't know what weight he fights at, but whatever weight he floats at, something like that. Just the guys that I can get the credit for beating.
yeah. Well, you obviously got Ryan under Golden Boy. That would be a home run fight. Yeah, I think I heard Eric Gomez say the other day on the three knockdown rule that he's probably coming back at 47. Would you go up to 47 to fight someone like Ryan?
Yeah. I mean, I got pretty good size for 140, honestly. If you look at it, I got great size for 140, honestly. So like, I wouldn't ideally go to 147 unless it made sense.
Right.
And I think a fight like that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Big financial sense, obviously. And then let me ask you, you got Tank still out there. Never know what his weight class is. He's always floating around, fighting a guy like Lamont Roach, smaller guy. What are your thoughts on that fight coming up?
Well, Lamont's my friend, so I'm a little biased. Like I'm cool. Tank's cool too. Like, but me and Lamont's relationship is a lot closer to me and Tank. So I'm biased during that for that one. So I'm team Lamont for that one.
You think he has I mean, he solid
Uh,
chance?
it is boxing, so it's
Yeah,
always a shot, and he's it's not like he's a slouch. I
right.
don't know, like everybody, I seen the outrage on the internet. Everybody mad about it, but he's a world champion for a reason. He's been since we were kids, he's been one of the top guys in the country and in the world as an amateur, and now as a pro. So it's not like it's a slouch or somebody just they picked up off the street.
Right.
He's a world champion in his own right, and I think he got a chip on his shoulder, and then now because everybody like dissing him for no reason. So now he probably gonna come fight harder. Yeah. You never know what could happen.
Yeah, no doubt. There's another fight this weekend that I feel like it's been going under the radar at
Oh,
140.
Reese and Catterall, yeah.
Yeah, to me that's a good scrap. What are your thoughts on that fight?
You know, when I think about those two, I don't know why. I know they like don't got like the same style, but when I think about them two, I think they fight alike for some reason in my mind. So I think it's gonna be an exciting fight. They kind of like their builds, like their body frame and stuff is close to the same, and they both kind of aggressive. Catterall tries to move on the back foot sometimes, but they both want to be aggressive. So I think that'll be a good fight.
Feels like it's under the radar though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's because they got that cancellation, and
Yeah.
then everybody didn't know when it was rescheduled for. So, but it's Saturday. I think it's gonna be an exciting fight.
Yeah, and then just a couple of fights real quick and a couple more things to get you out of here. Here with Kenneth Simms, one of the top 140 pounders in the world. Bakram Murtazaleh
Mm-hmm.
and Tim Tszyu. Was that a case of, and I don't believe this necessarily, but did Tim maybe overlook him a little bit, or was Bakram just better than advertised? Maybe.
I don't know about the overlooking part because I'm not in Tim's head, but I think the other guy probably was better than everybody else thought. So that's why it's a big surprise because I think everybody else didn't think he was that good. But Tim Tszyu was the one that was preparing for him. So, you just gotta treat everybody like they're a threat because everybody is a threat. It's a boxing ring, take one shot to change everything. So you gotta treat it as such. And like I can't sit up here and say I think Tim Tszyu overlooked him or underprepared for him because I wasn't in camp with him. I don't know what he did. In this boxing, it don't take one shot. So he
Right.
could have just got caught with something and that messed him up. But I watched it. The other guy was good. I had never seen him fight. I seen some clips of him before that, but that was my first time seeing him fight. He looked dangerous for anybody at the weight division. So
Yeah, yeah. It feels like he became the new boogeyman at 154 potentially.
yeah. I mean, I won't say boogeyman, but he put his name in the mix for some big fights.
Yeah, and having that belt obviously
Mm-hmm.
pulled some weight. But what about the? I mean, I think the fight that everyone was looking forward to that kind of took some of the steam out of these other fights was the Better Be of B-ball fight that had a lot of social media buzz
Yeah, I watched
after.
that fight initially. Just watching it, I thought we all clearly won, and then I rewatched it and I had it. I mean, the scorecards wasn't that bad. I had it either a draw or one round either way, 115, 113. So it was a close fight. I don't think it was a rivalry like everybody said. At first I did. When I watched it, initially I did. I was like, nah, there's no way.
Yeah, I'm not when I'm watching fights, maybe like you, I'm not really scoring rounds. I'm
Yeah,
just
when I'm watching it, I'm just watching like and who I feel is winning. I'm not really
right. Right.
counting like the rounds. But when I went back and watched it and actually like tried to like keep count and score the rounds, it was a super tight fight.
Yeah. And there was a lot of swing rounds. A lot
Yeah,
of
like watching the fight, I thought like I didn't think he was dominating, but I thought he was clearly winning Bivol. But then when you sit down and you think about it, fights are scored round by round.
right, right. Yeah, exactly. Um, another fight on your card, and I mentioned it. I think they're at 147 though. Jose Ramirez and
Oh, that's 140. Yeah.
it's 140
Uh-huh.
again with Golden Boys. Two other guys right there.
Yeah,
What?
those guys on my radar too. I just got to take care of this business November 16th with Oscar Duarte. But I'm just keeping my eyes open on everyone and anybody that I could possibly get in there with. And those two guys been on my radar for a while. So if that presents itself, then I'm open to that too.
How do you see it playing out?
I'm not sure because Barboza didn't look good at all his last fight. That's a completely different style with a tall southpaw
Yeah,
that was moving. And then Jose Ramirez didn't look good his last fight. And that's a completely different style. Barthélemy is awkward and throws punches from crazy angles. So in this fight, I don't really know if you can like pinpoint how I think it's gonna go because we don't know which one of those each one of those guys is gonna show up.
yeah. But you'll be right there.
Yeah, I'll be right there, fresh off a victory, just scouting.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, not to put a downer on anything, but and I like him. I like him a lot. But Teofimo said some derogatory stuff towards Bud
Yeah.
Crawford. I know you and Bud are really tight. Um, you know, Bud can handle anything. But what were your thoughts on that?
Uh, I I actually just finished getting asked about this, and I just think I don't know. It just don't make sense. I don't know if some screws loose upstairs or something with Tiafimo. It just don't make sense. It's like why you could talk trash without being racist, like, and he's like egging it on like it's some kind of joke. So I don't think that's cool. And I just hope that he doesn't come across pat or that he don't cross paths with Bud outside of a boxing ring because I don't think that'll end pretty. I just hope they don't run across each other. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. But Bud is certainly built differently.
Yeah, because that's not like something you just jokingly joke about. And then if somebody was to attack him, attack T.O. like physically for saying all the things he's been saying, then he'll probably be whining and saying he's just trying to sell a fight or something. But that's not the way you go about it.
Right, right. And one last thing, you mentioned Devin earlier and Ryan. That one of the news, uh, one of the headlines recently was the lawsuit from
Mm.
Devin to Ryan. How surprised were you of that? And what were your thoughts?
Uh, I mean, I didn't really have no thoughts about it. Honestly, I didn't think too much into it because I feel like if that's what Devin and his team felt that should happen, then hey, you can't be mad at him. Brian did cheat, I guess you'll say. So I seen everybody cover down on Devin for doing that, but I don't know. I didn't really have thoughts on it because I didn't really look into what the actual lawsuit was, so I didn't really get into it. So I don't really can't really comment on it because I don't really know like the details of it or what he's suing him for. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, man, Kenneth, I know you're on the interview cycle. Big fight coming up November 16th. What, real quick before I let you go, just
yeah.
your overall thoughts on fighting in Saudi Arabia. I mean, part of Riyadh season and all that. What are your thoughts on that?
uh, I'm excited about it. It's something that's I guess you could still say it's fairly new to the game, like these type of events and cars over there. So it feels good to be a part of something big, to be a part of a big card, especially with the journey that I've had in the sport. So I feel feels good to just be a part of something big and being able to perform on that stage.
Yeah, yeah. What should we expect on that stage, November 16th? Oscar Duarte, like you said, it's a big fight for you. Second fight with Golden Boy. What should we expect?
Greatness. Expect a dominant performance. That's my plan. I want to go out there and dominate. I want to go out there and like leave no doubts, leave nothing in question. And doing that, I think catapults me to the type of fights that I want.
All right, man. Well, listen, I always love talking to you. I love getting your insight and candidness, and best of luck, man.
Thank you.
I know well on your way, and like we talked about with Oscar and B Hop, behind you, you got two guys that have been there, done that. So
Thank you. Thank you.
you're in good hands, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, Kenneth, good luck.